Scorpio, how are you? Let's do a reading for your current energy, shall we? As always, please take what works, leave what doesn't. We all know who we are in the story. Now, I sure appreciate each and every one of you. I really do. And if you appreciate what I do here, help me out. Hit that like button. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Really makes a difference to my channel. And I would love to see my channel continue to grow. So that's how you can help me make that happen. All right, let's see what is going on for all of my Scorpios for the next 7 to 10 days. Grateful, thankful for the messages, always. All right, let's see what's coming through. First card out for you is the Page of Pentacles reversed to the Two of Pentacles. So I wonder whether or not you were waiting for an opportunity. You know, maybe, you know, this was a promotion or a job that you thought you were going to get. And then once you realize that you're not going to get it, you've got to figure out what to do next. You know, because with that Two of Pentacles, you know, it could say that, you know, maybe you need to pick up a side hustle or another job, or maybe you got to make a big decision so that you can finally make, you know, big money with one job. Anyway, I just feel as if, you know, a situation has kind of shown itself where, you know, you're going to have to figure it out. Now here, we do have the Magician coming in the recent past, and it is reversed. I think you were really wanting something to come through, and then it didn't. You know, especially with that Page of Pentacles coming in reverse. It's like, you know, the news was not what you wanted to hear, which is telling me you probably didn't get that job. But here, at the base of what's going on, is the Page of Swords. Now, I like the Page of Swords coming in because I just mentioned that with this Two of Pentacles, you know, there might be this need for you to kind of make a big decision about, like, all right, what am I going to do next? Am I going to continue to get these little jobs that, you know, just seem to string me along, or am I going to have to dig deep and really do something? We do have the Moon card here above you, which is reversed, you know, and do something that would make a bigger difference, you know, where, you know, if you are going to go to school and if you finish that program or whatever, you could land a real decent paying job. So for some of you, I think you're sitting on the fence as to what do you do at this point? And with that Moon card coming in reversed, you know, I feel as if, you know, you are looking for a bigger position here with that big old Jaguar there. But when the Moon card comes in reversed, I mean, this is a very psychic, very intuitive, very dreamy type of energy that goes deep inside of us, all right? This is one of those things that we are being called to do something that, you know, is probably going to be much better for us down the road if we choose not to settle. And with the Magician coming in here in the recent past, I just feel like, you know, it just wasn't working out. This is, you know, you want to manifest a job. Let's manifest the job, you know, the good one. But we do have the Chariot here in the future position, and it is reversed. So, you know, I feel like there's some hurdles, some blocks that you have to overcome in order to get to this position. So let's see what is going on here moving forward. Now, look, you're showing up as the Queen of Wands, all right? The Queen of Wands, I mean, everybody adores the Queen of Wands. Everybody wants to be like the Queen of Wands. She's charismatic, she's charming, she's creative, good business person. I mean, this is somebody, you know, who can, like, open doors around the world if she wanted to. A very powerful energy, and I feel like, you know, the Moon card coming in reversed is really wanting you to tap into who you really are. What can you do? What is it that you do really, really well that could probably provide for you if you were really to apply that in a capacity that would work as far as making it monetized? So I am feeling like there is this need for you to kind of tap in and listen to what it is that would really be good for you. We do have the Ace of Pentacles here. It is reversed. I think, you know, you sit on the fence about whether or not you should or you shouldn't pursue this. You know, and the Ace of Pentacles coming in reverse is like you keep putting it off and you keep putting it off because of why? All these reasons that come up with the Chariot reversed. Because when we do have the Chariot coming up, a lot of times it brings distractions. It brings all the reasons why you can't go down that one road, right? But you want to go down that road. And so I'm feeling like, you know, it is really time for you to really apply yourself and do what it is you've always wanted to do. Whether that's go back to school, whether that's a profession that, you've always dreamed of doing. Maybe you always wanted to be a dancer. Maybe you always wanted to be a singer. You know, something I feel from your childhood, there is something coming up that, like, you know, when I was a kid, I used to love to sing all the time. And whenever I had a chance to be in front of people, I would perform. It's that kind of an energy. And sitting right below it is the Eight of Pentacles. So there's something you could do that you do very well, that you've probably done since you were a kid, that could turn around and really make a difference to you when it comes to making a living. So why not tap into that, all right? Now, I'm not saying quit your day job, all right? Never quit your day job, you know, in pursuit of a dream and be left hanging with, I don't know what I'm going to do now because now I don't have any money coming in. You know, this is one of those things where you build upon it, all right? And you step by step, you find the direction, you find the way to, you know, finally get yourself out of a place where, you know, you've struggled financially. You struggle trying to make everything work, pay the bills and have a life and all of that because, you know, you've got to get up and go to work every day and do things that maybe doesn't bring you joy. And I think now you're in a place where you would love to do something that truly would make your heart sing, and it wouldn't be so much of a job when you got up in the morning and went to go do it. Now we do have the Temperance card coming in reversed, and we have the Devil card also coming in reversed. So, you know, I'm sensing with that Temperance card is like, quit waiting around for, you know, your life to change. I feel like you are in a position right now where you can make these changes. Where if you no longer want to be in a place where you're just always struggling financially, you have a great idea with this Page of Swords. Why not, you know, pursue it? Why not? What are you waiting for? All right, the Chariot reverse. It's just like, why do you not want to go and do this? Are you afraid of success? You know, for some of us, that could be the reason. You know, I'm just really afraid. What happens if I do succeed? Well, then, you know, we celebrate. That's what happens. So I feel like, you know, you've got to like look at all of the positive assets that you have that you can apply to your life. And that's what you need to tap into. So this week, I really feel like that's really your focus, is just like, how am I going to change my life for the better? How can I turn things around? With the Devil energy coming in reverse as a final outcome, I think, you know, you are changing. You know, you're not doing those things that have held you back before. I think you've got even a clearer mind and mindset when it comes to, you know, I'm different now. Like, I don't want to just, you know, spend my weekends hanging out and, you know, just spending money that I can't afford and doing things that don't work for me. Maybe, you know, going out partying. I don't want to do that anymore. You know, I'm just sensing that you want to change your life. And in order to do that, you've got to start initiating some of these changes. You know, to have this Page of Swords at the bottom, and we have all these books. I mean, I think there is something that you want to do, and with a little bit of work and a little bit of study and maybe a little bit of certifying here and there, you could do something that you've always wanted to do, something that from the time you were a child, you wanted to do this. So why not? All right, you know, so, you know, I'm really feeling this for you guys. Now, on another note, okay, with the Chariot coming in reversed in the near future, if you have car troubles, all right, and I'm feeling like some of you maybe experienced some of that, let's take care of them, all right? Because I just feel like, especially if you are needing to get forward and you need to do things, the last thing you need is not being able to get there, all right? So pay attention. This is just a side note for some of you Scorpios. If the check engine light is going off, let's check the engine, all right? Make sure our tires are filled and, you know, the brakes are working, just so that, you know, we can actually move about freely, all right? Because with the Chariot card coming in reverse, sometimes literally it could actually mean that your chariot is not wanting to work. So let's just address that and nip that in the bud so that there is nothing holding you back from moving forward and doing those things that you really want to do. So this is a real career read in a lot of ways. And I just think it's time for you, Scorpio, to find that road that you really want to get on. You know, this Moon card is calling you. I mean, something is wanting you to come out of your shell and do what it is that you do best. So why not do it now? Why keep putting it off, all right? Because I'm just feeling like the time is now for you to start making these steps to increase your life in some way, in a real positive way. All right, so listen, that's what I got for you this week, Scorpio. Please take what works, leave what doesn't. We all know who we are in the story. Hit that like button, and I'll see you all in another reading. Until then, be happy, be healthy, be kind, and I'll see you later. Bye.